I wanted to start by saying thank you for subscribing to this channel, and also if you've subscribed to the 6-week daily connection. I'm quite busy creating content for that at the moment, but I want you to know that I've noted your questions. I'm going to be creating posts on that and responding to your questions as soon as I can. But today I want to talk a little bit about mindfulness, because mindfulness didn't work for me when I was really stressed, that I was motivated to find a solution that really did work for me. I started out with mindfulness, a mindfulness practice, when I realized it was stress that was the problem. And I tried to follow these mindfulness principles to mindfully brush my teeth, to bring my attention to what I was doing, drink a cup of coffee mindfully, and of course, sit with what I was feeling. And I started to meditate. I was in this constant cycle of trying to manage and build resilience and be mindful, only to find that I was back in that reactivity and anxiety and stress. And it was like a constant battle, actually. And that's what really motivated me to understand what it was I was experiencing and why I was in this reactive loop that I just couldn't seem to get out of. And mindfulness only took me so far. And what I've understood is that it was the connection that was missing, and that it was the stress that I was holding without awareness at the cellular level within the body that kept me in this reactive loop. Sitting with what I was feeling, observing it, wasn't enough. Because the stress that I'd experienced, chronic stress I'd experienced from a very early age, was preventing me from connecting, from being present in the body and really feeling what it was that was so uncomfortable. I didn't really understand what I was meant to do with what I was observing. And I think that's it as well, because if you've been disconnected from a very early age, you're experiencing life in a very different way. You're disconnected from your experience. You tend to experience it only through the level of the mind. And a reason for that is because of the stress that you experience at a very early age. You tend to not want to feel. You tend to create that disconnect subconsciously as a form of protection, of not feeling too much, or not experiencing whatever it was that was creating anxiety. And so in that mindful practice, I could observe, and I could observe whether I was drinking a cup of coffee or what I was feeling, but I wasn't connecting, and that was the missing link for me. And as I connected with what I was feeling and became more present in the body, I started to connect with so much that was valuable to me, because not only could I start to understand what my emotions, which are essentially information about my experience, about your experience, what my emotions were telling me, but I was starting to connect with my inner guidance, my intuition, what felt right to me. Okay, and there's so much information in that connection. And it was in that connection as well that I started to create core safety at the level of the nervous system, in my body, but in myself, knowing that I could count on myself to show up in a way that was reliable and consistent. And in that way, we're starting to build trust. We're starting to build core safety. But we're also accessing so much information about our experience moment to moment. And that's really about starting to live consciously in the moment, and to make decisions and choices with awareness in the present moment, of course, because that's where we make all our choices, whether we're aware of it or not. And it's about creating that space and awareness in that connection so we can start to make more and more choices consciously, to live consciously from that space of connection. So that's why I wanted to share about mindfulness, why it didn't work for me. It's still core, central to the practice that I share and that I do every day as a reflex now, a natural reflex. But it wasn't enough, because if you've been stressed for most of your life, you're experiencing chronic stress, there's more to just sitting with what you're feeling, because it's that stress that has caused a disconnect and it became your normal in some way. And so it's understanding how to be connected and present in the body, not just bringing your attention to what you feel. That's the mind, that's different. Okay, so I hope that helps. And as always, if you're interested in experiencing this firsthand, I share my process, my healing process, in a 6-week daily connection. And all the details are in the description box and the comments below. Okay, again, thank you for your questions, and I will respond as soon as I can. I really appreciate your engagement, and I'm here to help in any way I can. Okay, so looking forward to seeing you in the next post.